Jake from the future here. You are about to hear me rattle off a bunch of service items I'm gonna do to this truck. Hold your horses. We're just gonna do the first one, and you'll see why. Today, we are gonna be doing what I consider to be more advanced maintenance. I'm talking about a coolant flush, transmission fluid change,
Nope.
transfer case fluid change,
Nope.
front and rear differential fluid change,
Nope.
brake fluid change,
Nope.
and a fuel filter change.
Nope.
So I know that last time I joked a bit about, oh, how hard could it be? Changing oil, rotating tires. And I think for a first timer, it was definitely tricky, but I just want to reiterate that if I, a guy who works a desk job as a statistician crunching numbers, can work on his car, I think you can too. Now on to the video. Now, I don't actually know if Big Red really needs a coolant flush or any of these fluid changes for that matter, but I'm doing this because I want peace of mind. I don't know when half of these things were last done. The Carfax wasn't very clear on that. But also, this is my learning opportunity. If I'm going to be doing this more regularly, doing this on other cars, I'm going to have to know how to do it. Plus, this coolant bottle kind of looks a little grody. As I was learning how to do a coolant flush and studying on YouTube University, all of the videos that I found only showed how to drain out fluid from the bottom and fill it up from the top. But this process only seems to drain about a third of all the coolant that's in the system. This is why I'm trying the Chris Fix approach to do a super flush, where I keep filling with distilled water, running Big Red, and flushing the coolant out until it's basically coming out clear. And then I can top up with the 50-50 mix of coolant and distilled water. In theory, this sounded great, but I had some thoughts about where they put the drain plug. Oh, they put it in the stupidest place. And man, did I have some thoughts about the smell. It smells like a lobster and a trout made love, had a baby, raised it, nurtured it lovingly, and then one day, that poor creation thought too highly of itself, left the comfort and safety of home, crawled up onto the shore, got a little too far out into the wilderness, and started baking in the sun. It just smells awful. After staring at that filth that was draining out of the floor, I actually had a relatively intelligent idea for the first time that day. Maybe I should remove the coolant reservoir and attempt to clean that out before I start filling it up again. And again, I was upset at the state of the reservoir. I mean, look at that face. Look at this. Absolutely filthy. I proceeded by spraying some water into the reservoir and shaking it the way that I shake my Chick-fil-A salads after pouring that sweet avocado ranch on top. And it kind of worked. I continued by spraying some water in every orifice I could find, giving each hole the same treatment a bidet gives to one's keister. Draining more water, giving the whole thing more Chick-fil-A salad treatment, and then pausing to spill fluids everywhere, and then having to clean it up. Once I was done with that, I could get back to popping the reservoir into place and making sure that once that was done, I could close the drain plug so I wouldn't make more of a mess, hopefully. And then I could continue on with filling with distilled water and some of that radiator flush.
2 hours later.
This takes way longer to drain than I thought it would, and is so much messier than I thought it would be. Have you ever gone to the bathroom, peed, and they're like, all done, and then all of a sudden, you get your second wind and you keep peeing again?
1 eternity later.
This was taking way too long, so I had to start getting creative. I have severely underestimated how long this would take. I turned the camera off after the second flush, and I have done 7 flushes, and it's been nasty. Let me just show you some of what we collected. This was the first flush, second flush, 3, 4, and 5 looked exactly like that. And it's supposed to be like a clearer orangey color. Let's see what the 7th flush looks like. Well, it looks a little better. But, yeah, I guess I'm gonna do some more flushing.
The next day.
I thought this was gonna go by in like an hour or 2. I have to be doing something wrong. I spent 6 hours yesterday flushing and flushing and flushing, making sure the car was running, turning the heat up all the way. This is what I started with, the color that came out. And this is what it is right now, so it's better, but I've also flushed 16 gallons, so I have to be doing something wrong. Ladies, you may have noticed the look of defeat on my face. If you ever see your man with that same look of defeat on his face, just stop him, give him a hug, tell him everything will be okay, and make him stop changing the coolant for the rest of the day. I think I've finally done it. After 8 flushes, this is what we have. Flushes 1, 2, 3 through 6 basically look like this. The last flush, and then I called it good and I put that in. So, I think we should be good to go. So let's get in the car. Let's see if this overheats. I have the heater up all the way so we can get some of that fluid circulating through. This might take a few minutes, so let's see. The car's been running for about 10 minutes with the heater up all the way. I gave it a couple of revs, trying to warm up the engine, and I think we are good. It is hovering just under the halfway mark between cold and hot. So I'm gonna call that a success. I'm wrapping up this video here. As you heard in the beginning, there were a bunch of other fluids that I wanted to get done. Brake fluid, transfer case, transmission, differential, etc. But this took so long, we're gonna leave that for next episode. Let me know down below what I did wrong. It kept coming out brown, which makes me think that I was doing it right. But man, this is excessive. 16 gallons later, I need a nap. If you found this content even remotely interesting, a like and or a subscription would be greatly appreciated. I'll see you in part 2. Oh, remember who you are and what you stand for.